Doing good.
Clarence Hill, All City, Dallas. Can you explain the fake punt?
I can. So it was, early in the game, and what it is basically is there's 2 to 3 very unique looks that we could potentially get at any time during the season, and we have the ability, the players have the ability, because they're coached, to activate a fake based on a certain look we might get. And we haven't had that look really yet, but we've practiced it because it's been kind of popular around the league, the look that we ran it against. So we practiced it quite a few times a week, and the players do what they were coached to do. They saw the look from the huddle. We activated the look based on the very unique, kind of rare look we got. They popped somebody out on the backside that took away, obviously, the first down because we got the completion. So it wasn't like a fake called from the sideline. It was an activated fake by the players based on a unique look that we haven't gotten necessarily. So the players did what they were coached to do, and they activated the fake, and we were a couple of yards short.
Is there not a game situation? I know it was obviously something you get to look, let's do this, but is there not a conversation about game situation, field position?
Yep.
Regardless of what you look, that's not a good idea to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a fact. So there was a game earlier this year where we activated it based on a look we got on one of our other scenarios, and very quickly we killed it because it quickly became not a look that we liked. So the players were fantastic. We got the look, we activated it, it changed, we killed it, and we punted it. Nobody knew anything about it. So to your point, yes, there's situations in the game where we don't activate it. I think that was one where we got the look. I can tell you what it is because it's on tape. They got a 4 wide with all 8 hands down. So we're going to slip out the A gap to the 4 wide side. And I thought the situation in the game was probably fair to warrant running that thing. It was early in the game. The field position and the down and distance was according to the potential for success. But I got to give, honestly, it didn't work. It didn't work. I got to give the players a ton of credit for paying attention in meetings and walkthroughs and doing what they're coached to do. So like the last one, it didn't work. That's on me because they're doing what they've been asked to do. But I'm proud of them for just being in tune with seeing a look that we really haven't got yet, that we've practiced for a year and a half. There's 2 other ones that we practiced too that we could activate that we haven't got yet. But so yeah, it's too bad we didn't get it, and you can put that on me.
John, Todd Archer with ESPN. Aubrey's field goal miss was a simple case of his plant foot slipping. Is that how you look at it?
It was, yeah. No, I'm glad you saw that. So it was unique for him because that's the first time that's happened for him. He kind of just planted with his left foot, and it kind of just rolled almost like a basketball sprain type roll. And so his hip just stayed open. That's why he pushed it a little bit to the right. And usually he can make those kicks because I've said before, it doesn't have to be perfect for him ever to still make a kick as far as his form. But that one, he just rolled out of his plant foot, and his hip stayed open, and that's why he missed it. And our holder knew it immediately because he saw his foot slide and open. So as soon as they came off the sideline, Anger told me that his foot slipped, and that's why I pushed it. But that's what happened, yeah.
And then there were a couple instances with some skirmishes after the plays with your guys.
Yep.
What do you make of that? Is that just heat of battle moments? Is that guy starting to set its own? How do you look at it?
I think it's our players protecting our players. And I think it's fantastic.
John Machado with The Athletic. Back to the fake punt. With Brian Anger, what does he show you that gives you the trust he can throw? I know you did with Johnny Hecker and stuff. Does Brian just have the type of arm where you're like, I trust him to do it? Or would you trust any punter that you had to do that?
No, I think Brian has a good ability to throw. I mean, he's not a quarterback, so but I think more than that, you trust his decision making, and he's absolutely a fantastic athlete. And he was a wide receiver in high school, and so he has the ability to catch and throw and run and do those things. And he's also experienced enough to know to kind of control the back end of it where, if we activate something he doesn't like it, he can kill it too. So the communication part of it has been fantastic. I think probably I haven't seen the TV copy yet, but I heard that it showed myself and Coach McCarthy talking immediately after that happened. And I think whenever you activate a fake, it kind of catches everybody by surprise. I saw it as we were taking the line of scrimmage. I could see from the sideline, I think we're actually getting what what I think we're getting. But Coach McCarthy, you know, he might not be watching that. So the conversation was, you know, and I let Coach know that was the look that activated the fake, you know, and it's a rarity. So if there's any questions about the conversation, it was just maybe a surprise from Coach's perspective, like, what happened? You know, and I told him what happened, and obviously it didn't work, so he was upset, which is very fair. But yeah, Anger is an athlete, and I feel like he can do a lot of good things.
Saudis of The Athletic. John, you have a reputation of being creative with a lot of your looks and things like that. With some of these fake punts, like, they've been a little bit more straightforward, just take it, throw it. Do you feel like you haven't been able to tap into your creative fakes and maybe other things like that we've seen throughout your career that you've had?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably fair, that some things have been taken away for sure. And so we try to stay with some bread and butter ones, whether it's throwing to the gunner or activating a fake. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of over the course of the years, especially here, that we haven't been maybe in as much desperation mode, especially the last 3 years, where maybe in my past there's a little bit more, having to be a little more creative to try to steal possessions because maybe we weren't as good on offense in the past. And so, you know, you try to keep your defense on the field and produce another possession for your offense. And I'm not saying that's what it is this year, because that's not my decisions to make. But yeah, there's some things that are, you know, that have been taken away that maybe we don't see on tape when we're scouting an opponent that we're now playing. I don't know if that's a good answer or not.
Yeah,
but.
No, and not just on like fake punts, but like, you know, when you were with the Rams, there was, you know, the punt return on one side of the field and another guy on the other, things like that that you kind of implemented on your own. Have you been able to do as much of that as you want, or has there been something that hasn't allowed that?
I think that's a hard one to answer. Yeah, I think whether it's taken away or maybe being a little more conservative because, you know, the previous seasons have been maybe better where we don't need to do that. Trying to think of the right wording for you. Yeah, I think when the opportunity's there, you know, we'll try to capitalize. You know, we ran the fake against New England last year because it was something on tape, and I was actually a little bit nervous about that, just thinking, you know, this is what they've done the whole time, but, you know, they might not do it against us.
Can I just jump in here real quick? When you say taken away, you mean taken away by the looks, not taken away by McCarthy or your
Correct, by the looks. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for letting me clarify that too. Yeah, it hasn't been taken away by the head coach or anything else. It's just the looks maybe haven't presented themselves to activate it as much or to warrant calling something, because we might see something from an opponent, but then, you know, against us maybe it doesn't show up. So it's kind of like, you know, yeah. No, thanks for clarifying.
Nick Harris, 4-Star Telegram. Marquise Bell, how valuable has he been to your unit? And if you lose him, how big of a blow is it?
Yeah. Yeah, that one hurts. I mean, he's put as good a special teams ball through 10 games as I can remember. I mean, man. And he just, you know, he got hurt doing what he does best. He's just flying in there, diving, and he's going to be okay. But, man, just, gosh, spend so much time with these guys in meetings and practice field and the game field, and the emotions of, you know, undrafted to wanting a little bit more and accepting his role and thriving in his role. Damn, that, and I'm hurting for him because he was on a mission. He was as good as we've had in a while. So that one hurt.
I guess on a lighter note, Josh Butler, I know he's a guy that spent a lot of time with you. Seeing him get a start, how helpful is that?
Yeah, no, that's part of the deal too. So in the team meeting, I think the morning of the game, you know, he was told that he's going to be signed to the 53, and he showed me the text, and so, you know, hugged him, congratulated him, man, like what a journey he's been on to just make it to the 53. You know, then ended up starting in the game too, because he's been a special teams guy for us in the few times that he's been on game day. And so we didn't use him at all yesterday because he was a starting corner. But what he's done in the last year and a half just on scout team, you know, and all of a sudden he's starting corner for a whole game. It's just really cool to see. the ascension of some of these guys and the opportunities they get. And so that was a cool, huggable moment the morning of the game. And I said, man, hopefully you're just getting started, and got a great role today on defense. You know, I won't bug you, take care of that business, but great job, man. So, yeah, it's cool for him. You know, then there's also the disappointments with the 48 and 49 we dealt with this week. You know, Damone Clark's been a great guy for us, and just based on numbers, he was inactive. And Jalen Brooks, you know, fantastic guy for us, and based on numbers, he's inactive. So, you know, part of my job is a little bit psychologist on, you know, hugging the guys when their opportunity and kind of like patting them on the back saying, hey, you know, this game wasn't yours, but stay alive because maybe you'll be back up next game. I mean, there's just a ton of emotions involved, not just with the winning and the losing, but the individuals, and, you know, they're up, they're down, they're cut, they're activated, all kinds of stuff. So it's cool, man. It's a great room. It's a great room, and they fight. You know, back to your point, like all the scuffles, they just want to compete. They just want to compete.
Louis Scruggs, NBC5. Bones, where's your confidence level after the past couple of weeks when the fake punts don't work, and you go into the meetings and you're talking to the players and you're talking to the coaches to do something like this again?
Yeah, I mean, 2 failed fake punts in the last 3 games, you know, accounted for about 90 of our reps. You know, I put the tape on of covering kickoffs and covering punts and returning punts and returning kickoff returns. And, you know, I understand that's what nobody really sees or asks about, and that's fine. You know, but obviously there's 2 glaring misses. But the combat and the competition and the fight by our guys, I know probably people don't care about, but it's probably been as good as I've been a part of through the first 10 games of a season in a long time. I can't tell you when, and it's arguable, but, you know, I've told them in meetings before, like, man, I can't ask any more out of you guys. I ain't going to accept less, but I can't ask any more because, I mean, they go. And then, the missed fakes are on me, you know. Called the one in Atlanta, didn't work, and they were coached to activate certain looks, and we finally got it, and it was a surprise, and they did it, and that's on me, you know. So they did what they're asked to do, and the failures are on me, and the competition by them is on them, and it's cool.
We'll finish up with Skylar and the Cowboys. Skylar Dixon with the AP. A couple for you. You mentioned that, you know, you might be in a situation where you're trying to steal possessions here and there. Obviously, this season started with really high expectations. This offense now isn't anywhere close to what it was personnel-wise when the season started. Does that mindset start to change or creep in a little bit when the season develops the way it does, to where you feel like you're trying to sneak a couple of possessions?
Yep. Yeah. And again, that's not for me to decide, but you can kind of feel, you know, Atlanta, we're coming out, we get a 3-and-out, start the half, and this past game, you know, kind of the same thing. Like, how can we keep the ball in our offense's hand and not give it back? So that's part of it for sure. When you're playing a little bit from behind, whether it's the score or the record, I think that's part of it. And I will say this, you know, I know that people can disagree or, you know, call me whatever they want. I don't regret the call in Atlanta with a failed fake punt. And I absolutely don't regret, you know, coaching our guys to look at a couple of very unique looks. And, you know, with Coach's blessing, you know, a while ago, that if we get it, go ahead and do it. I think it was the right thing to do. It just didn't work. And I can accept that, you know. A lot more than getting the look and not doing it and saying, damn, I wish we'd have done it. You know what I mean? Anyways.
And this is, I guess, a little bit related to that. When you have the failed fake of the other day or yesterday, does that make you second guess the player activation mechanism that you have, or is that kind of a dangerous place to go to second guess something?
No, I mean, I think I don't second guess everything, but I definitely look at, you know, was that the right thing to do? Yeah, for sure. You know, it's easy to second guess it when it doesn't work. Yeah, I think I evaluate everything, you know, on the certain activations, you know, for sure. And if we activate it and it works, then I might look at 1 or 2 other looks to activate against those 2, you know. And if it doesn't work, I probably got to kill a couple potential activations just, you know, for not the fear of anything, but you just don't want to be giving up field position yards. And yeah, it's unique though, man. You know, that was a unique look, and they got us popping the backside 2 out. You know, didn't anticipate that, but but we got the look that we practice against. You know, we got the look we practice against for 8, 9, 10 weeks now.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. This is a tough business, obviously. How hard is it to separate? I care about these guys because I saw you got a little emotional about Bell, and I got a job to do. I got to put the best guys out there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think, you just develop such a tight relationship with these guys. You know, not that it's buddy-buddy by any means. Like, I get in there and I kick their ass a lot. Not in a bad way, just like, come on, you know? But these young men are very human, gosh, and they want so much out of their career, and I want it for them. And you don't want to start staring down the pipe of, you know, how long do I get to coach these guys for after you've been with them for quite a few years. But they're special humans, and what they do on a daily basis is very unique. And we don't have to do this. Like, it's our decision to sign up for this. But I don't know if I answered your question right. But man, when you're in that foxhole with them and they fight, you got their back. You know, so I don't think it's hard to separate that. I think that's just kind of the best part about it, really, is being there with those guys. And I saw Marquise this morning, and that's probably why I got emotional, because just about 10 o'clock this morning, went into the training room and, you know, had the whole thing slinged up, and he was emotional too, because he knew what he was producing. You know, maybe not everybody else does, but he was producing. I mean, as good as it's been. So hopefully he'll heal up and be back better than ever, and I'm sure he will, because he's a tough-ass kid. He is an outstanding football player, so he's got some great stuff in his future.
All right, thank you both.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.